So, markets were all over the place on Tuesday, and honestly it felt like everyone was trying to make sense of way too many headlines at once. Hey everyone, it's Wednesday morning, October 15th, and welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella, here to break down yesterday's market action in just 2 minutes. Quick note before we dive in. Today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt. Learn more about our funds and strategies at amf-capital.de. Alright, let's get started. So, the Dow managed to sneak out a small win, up about 0.4%, while the Standard & Poor's 500 dipped around 0.2%. The Nasdaq? Well, that one took the biggest hit, sliding almost 0.8%, thanks mostly to weakness in tech. Now let's start with the drama of the day, the US and China. Beijing turned up the heat again, announcing fresh sanctions on 5 US-linked divisions of South Korea's Hanwha Ocean, basically cutting them off from Chinese business. And both sides have now started charging special port fees on each other's ships. President Trump didn't hold back either. He went on Truth Social late in the session, accusing China of purposefully not buying US soybeans and calling it an economically hostile act. He even threatened to stop US purchases of Chinese cooking oil. Naturally, that sent stocks sliding from their highs. Meanwhile, Fed Chair Powell gave a speech at an economics conference, and his tone was, well, let's say cautiously dovish. He said the Fed's view on inflation and employment hasn't changed much, which investors took as a quiet signal that more rate cuts might be coming. On the corporate side, earnings season officially kicked off with results from the big Wall Street banks. JP Morgan, Goldman, Citi, and Wells Fargo all reported on Tuesday. And over in tech, AMD made waves, announcing it'll supply Oracle's cloud business with 50,000 AI chips. That's a big deal. But Nvidia investors weren't too happy about it, sending Nvidia shares down more than 4%. All in all, it was one of those days where the market just couldn't decide whether to focus on trade, the Fed, or earnings. So it kind of did all three at once. Alright, that wraps up today's Capital Markets Quickie. Join me again tomorrow morning for more market updates. See you then.